Hey everyone, and welcome to another way too big episode of Monday Movie Pickup. Oh, the Little Rascals. I probably watched this movie way too many times as a kid, but it holds a close place in my heart. And this is a Blu-ray upgrade from the VHS I own, so it's about time, right? Doesn't look like there's any special features on here, but honestly, there's a lot of movies that was released by Universal in the last couple years that a lot of mid-90s movies that didn't get any special features on their discs. I remember Dr. Dolittle had nothing either, so, box office successes, but all these years later, they're just kind of forgotten, and they're like, no one cares about special features. I have always wanted to see this movie. I have no idea if it's any good, and I really hope I like it. Saw it for super cheap, and I was like, alright, I'll finally give it a shot. I only ever heard one really terrifically positive review about it. I don't know about the other reviews, but there was one person I really trusted who said this movie was fun, so I'll take their word for it. Here's Argo. I actually own this movie already, but I found this special edition box set. I didn't even know this existed. It's a extended edition, and it came with 2 discs. I was like, I couldn't even remember if the one I owned had the special features. Went home, and what do you know? It didn't. It's a good thing I bought this then, because look at that. Special features disc. That made me super happy to find out that this even existed. It comes with a bunch of photos and posters as well. Awesome booklet. These are always really fun. So, yeah, cool edition. I usually stay away from the special edition box sets like these unless the movie has an extra disc, and this was a case where I saw it for cheap and I was like, why not? Robots. Don't really remember much about this. I always forget that Robin Williams is in this movie. Yet another animated movie that wasn't Aladdin that starred Robin Williams. It's been a couple years. This was Blue Sky. I think they did Ice Age first, and then they did this one next. This one kind of just goes forgotten, but Blu-ray release, so why not? I'd like to own all the Blue Sky movies. As you can see, I also got a couple other ones. Horton Hears a Who, which I've seen once. I remember it being fine. That's kind of what I've been saying about all the Dr. Seuss movies they've ever released. They're fine. Some are terrible and some are fine. Like, they haven't ever done an amazing Dr. Seuss adaptation, I don't think, yet. Epic, which Mr. Coat himself has said terrific things about this movie. So, I'm finally going to give it a watch all these years later. I'm a little late to the punch, I guess. This is such an ugly cover. All these face covers, I hate them, but slipcover, I guess. It's a positive. Devil Wears Prada. This is a movie I've wanted to see for years, and it's kind of weird. It's got a bit of a following after the fact, which you wouldn't think. This movie kind of looked like it would join the generic 2000s comedy bin of movies that were fine and people saw them, but people forgot years later. But this one seems to stick around a lot. People bring it up a lot still. And we have Megamind. They're starting to release almost every single DreamWorks movie on Blu-ray. In June, they'll have all of them out. When they finally do the Sinbad movie, they're going to be releasing Wallace and Gromit, and they're going to be releasing Flushed Away. So after that, all the DreamWorks movies will be on Blu-ray. I remember seeing this once. I remember it being a neat enough idea, but, it has been a couple years since I've seen it. But I'm trying to get all the DreamWorks movies on Blu-ray, so this was one of them. But man, you kind of forget about all the movies DreamWorks did. They just did so many, probably too many. Secondhand Lions, this was a VHS upgrade. I remember always kind of liking this movie alright. Goes forgotten. I don't think people even realized Haley Joel Osment was still acting in movies at this point. But it's a pretty neat movie. Nothing spectacular, but had it on VHS. I was like, found it for cheap, why not upgrade? And of course we have Ralph Breaks the Internet. I really enjoyed this movie a lot, and I thought it was funny. I thought it was better than the first movie even, and excited to finally give it a watch again. I actually wanted to watch it again, so I figured why not finally buy it. Bought it on eBay for about half the price it currently is, so that was pretty awesome. I don't think the digital code works with it, but whatever. I basically put those in my computer, amass a giant collection, and then hardly watch the digital copies anyway, but I'm just waiting for the day where the Blu-ray players, I don't know, they all blow up or whatever, and then all we have is internet. And I have a Laserdisc, Iron Will. I kind of bought this at the same time I saw the Raiders of the Lost Ark CED. This was a movie that was filmed in my hometown. I recently bought the DVD to upgrade from the VHS, but I saw the Laserdisc for real cheap, so I was like, why not? Why not just own a Laserdisc of a movie that was filmed in my area? See, it's just those rocks in the background. I don't know how to explain it, but that is Minnesota right there in the winter. That's just what it looks like, so that's why I've always appreciated this movie. It kind of looks ugly for the scenic moments. You know, the scenery isn't pretty to look at, but that's kind of the Minnesota scenery in the winter. It just kind of looks like dead brush and ugly colors and white. That's about it. It's a fine enough movie, but pretty cool to own a Laserdisc of it. I am starting to kind of grow my Laserdisc collection a little more, but don't want to get too crazy with it. Those are all the movies this week. I'm hoping there will be less next week. Thanks for watching.